headquarters this morning at about a few minutes past 10 o'clock in the morning. And later on, the Kabiru Turaki-led faction came in along with two governors, that is the governor of Bauchi State and his Oyo State counterpart, Sheyi Makinde. They were resisted from gaining access to the secretariat. Eventually, they had their way, and the whole situation got chaotic with security agents tear gassing everyone there. And after a while, the minister of the FCT also drove in, but for the number of hours that he remained at the party secretariat, he remained seated in his car all through. For some of the disruptions being witnessed, not that the party officials were actually engaged in fighting, but then some youths or supporters of both factions took advantage of the situation to cause a commotion, and that necessitated the intermittent tear gas or tear gassing of the people around. And eventually the FCT minister left after some hours. Few minutes later, the faction loyal to him also left. But then that of the Kabiru Turaki remained. And they later told us that, or told the media that they had taken over affairs of the party, and that all is calm and nothing has changed, and they are in power. But then, few minutes ago, the Samuel Anyanwu faction, that is the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led faction, issued a statement ratifying the expulsion of three governors: the governor of Bauchi, Senator Bala Mohammed, Oyo, Engineer Sheyi Makinde, and Zamfara, Jauda Lawal, along with the chairman that emerged from the Ibadan Convention, Kabiru Turaki SAN, and then the secretary that also emerged from the convention, Ambassador Tofik Arakpaja, and a few others for anti-party activities. So then, as at the time I left the national headquarters of the party, calm has returned, except for the presence of diminishing security agents around there to maintain a breakdown of law and order. So that is all for now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Timothy Yusuf, our political correspondent there, giving an account of what transpired at the PDP's national headquarters in Abuja today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now, following the tragic abduction of schoolgirls from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, MAGA, in Kebbi State, the community is still grappling with fear and uncertainty. The attack, which also claimed the lives of school vice principal, has left deep emotional scars on residents, especially parents of the abducted students, who now cling to hope for their safe return. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Mohammed Bawa reports.
The abduction of students from Government Day Comprehensive Secondary School MAGA in Kebbi State has thrown the entire community into deep sorrow and fear. Since the tragic incident, life in MAGA has come to a near standstill. The usually lively town now wears a somber mood as families, neighbors, and community leaders remain in shock.
Honestly, we are still in fear. Since yesterday, we could not sleep. May God come to our aid.
The wife of the deceased vice principal could not hide her pains, while parents of the abducted schoolgirls remain hopeful, yet deeply worried, clinging to prayers and any sign of good news.
I will forever remember my husband, especially the way he's taking care of me and my children.
We are calling on the state government to please offer scholarship for the children of my brother.
We are begging the state government and the federal government, please, they should come to our aid and rescue these children, because I believe the federal government can do it.
Community members gather to offer support to affected families as they anxiously await updates from security operatives. Security agencies, including the military, continue to comb suspected hideout in and around the areas as part of intensified search and rescue effort. Their presence in Maga has provided a small measures to reassurance, but tensions remain high. As the day passes, Maga stands strong in grief, a community bonded by faith, pain, and a shared hope that its daughters will be rescued and return home safely. In Maga of Dankuwa Sagu local government area of Kebbi State, Abdul Mohammed Bawa, NTA News.
The Senate is urging Nigeria's armed forces to immediately recruit at least 100,000 personnel to tackle insecurity in parts of the country. It is also to set up an ad hoc committee to look into the funding, expenditure and outcome of the Safe School program. These and other resolutions were adopted following a motion on Monday's abduction of 25 students of Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, in Kebbi State. Senate strongly condemns the heinous act and sympathized with families of the victims.
So the entire country, we want the country to be safe for all Nigerians, and that is why they elected us here, to make laws, resolutions, and take steps to ensure that we, in line with our constitutional duties, that lives and properties are safe.
Relatedly, Senate mourns the murder of Brigadier General Uba and other military personnel on Monday in Borno State. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has directed troops of Operation Fansan Nyama to intensify efforts in securing the release of students abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, GGCSS Maga, Kebbi State. In a statement by the Information Officer, Operation Fansan Nyama, Captain Nyama David Adeusi, says the Chief of Army Staff issued the directives during an operational tour to the state. Addressing frontline commanders and troops, General Shaibu charged them to conduct intelligence-driven operations and maintain relentless day and night pursuit of the abductors and engage local vigilantes and hunters, describing them as critical partners in the operation. He urged them to leverage their knowledge of the terrain in collaboration with troops to locate and eliminate the criminal elements. And the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, has reaffirmed the Nigerian Air Force's unwavering resolve to intensify air campaigns with a view to ensuring air power remains fully engaged, committed and determined to dominate the battle space and wipe out terrorist threats wherever they emerge. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, indicates that this was during his operational visit to the NAF base in Maiduguri, where he reiterated that the NAF is strengthening synergy with ground forces, widening precision strike operations, and expanding intelligence-driven missions to deny terrorists any freedom of action across the theaters of operation. The Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Air Vice Marshal Paul Obeya, reaffirmed troops' readiness in fully implementing the Chief of Air Staff's strategic direction to push for tighter coordination with land forces, improved intelligence, and enhanced rapid response strike capability. Addressing frontline personnel, Air Marshal Aneke lauded the resilience, courage, and professionalism of the air components of Operation Hajin K and the 105 Composite Group, describing them as a driving force in the fight against insurgency and terrorism. The Air Chief, who paid a courtesy visit on the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, commended Borno model of community-based stabilization and acknowledged the government's consistent support to NAF's operations, particularly through logistical interventions and strategic land allocations that have enhanced the service's posture in Maiduguri. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum commended the NAF and other services for their unwavering commitment to security of lives and property in the state. The First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, says news of abduction of 25 students of the Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi State, and the tragic killing of the Vice Principal is not only an attack on innocent girls and dedicated educators, but an assault on the values of safety and learning that schools embody. A statement from the office of the First Lady of the Republic of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, says the President has taken immediate action by ordering the security agencies to ensure the quick and safe return of the abducted girls and to bring the perpetrators to justice. She prays for the families, friends, loved ones and schoolmates at this time for God to grant quick rescue to the abducted girls and the soul of the departed, Vice Principal, to rest in Al-Jannatu Fidos. Nigeria is engaging in discussions with the United States to address shared security concerns following President Donald Trump's recent threats of military intervention. Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga emphasized that the talks focus on collaborative efforts to combat global security challenges.
We have security challenges due to factors, many of them beyond our control. So any country, including the US, that is willing to partner with us to tackle those problems, we more than welcome it. But Nigeria and Nigerian security and Nigerian troops, Nigerian military has to be the one to take the lead. Our hope is that Nigeria will get a fair hearing when they're having their public hearings. Instead of just listening to one side, we hope that the legislators see to it that they sample different opinions. We're living in the era of social media, and a lot of people get their news, they get their information from social media. A lot of it tends to be false, but it's easier to misinform people with this medium because the consumption itself is very fast.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on wives of the new service chiefs to provide their husbands with needed support as they work hard to meet the expectations of their commander-in-chief and Nigerians in the fight against insecurity. She made the call during a courtesy visit to her office by the wives of the service chiefs. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
A warm welcome, marking the beginning of a new chapter as wives of the new service chiefs formally meet the wife of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The weight of the recent abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State was however heavy in the air as the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, led her guests to observe a minute's silence for the Vice Principal of the school, Hassan Makuku, who was killed during the abduction. She said the incident must serve as a reminder to our guests that they, along with their husbands, have stepped into a new role, one that demands sacrifice and support.
Right now, with the Kebbi situation, the security, the entire security apparatus was start to put in place to do all that work. Your husband signed in to protect lives at the expense of their own lives. So I want to commend them. God will continue to take care of them going out and coming into all of you. No evil will befall them, and they will help our country and they will secure our country.
Far away from the theaters of war, the First Lady says they have a lot to do, especially working with her to empower wives of fallen heroes, the elderly, and people with disabilities.
Because we know there are a lot of veterans that are old, and then they will need little financial assistance towards the unitized season. So we are going to do 250, but I expect that when we do that, you can also introduce that to your husbands so that you can begin to take care of the elderly amongst them. Because all of us will grow old. And for the people with disability, we're giving them 200,000 to start even the petty trade. But we are giving them a lifeline so that to encourage them. So we are also doing 250 of those. So that would be about 100 million for the two programs.
Wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Egbetokun, who introduced the wives of the new service chiefs to the First Lady, applauded her inspiring leadership and sustained interventions for the armed forces.
We are grateful for the guidance and support we extend to families of the armed forces and security agencies. We are also grateful for the empowerment programs you have organized previously for the widows of security agencies.
The wives of the new service chiefs assumed their role on October 30, 2025, after President Bola Tinubu, in exercise of his power as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, decorated their spouses as the new service chiefs. In the State House, Adeniyi Taiwo, NT News.
As the dry season sets in, there is the need for citizens to take precautionary measures to mitigate fire disasters in the country. This was emphasized by the Controller General of the Federal Fire Service at the opening ceremony of the 2025 Fire Service Safety Week in Abuja. Moses Ochibo reports.
Fire, a guest no one wants to welcome. That creeps in when you least expect. But what measures can be put in place to mitigate this unwarranted guest? The center of discussion at the opening ceremony of the 2025 Fire Service Safety Week. The Controller General of the Nigerian Fire Service urged citizens to always be alert about happenings in their environment, as fire remains a natural force that needs to be prepared for.
We must replace wishful thinking with practical action, incorporating safety designs into our building plans, checking gas cylinders, switching off electrical appliances when not in use, installing smoke detectors. Government functionaries at national and sub-nationals must also abandon the not my portion mentality by embracing safety as the fundamental pillar of our economic protection and national responsibilities.
Activities lined up include enlightenment programs across the country, market inspections, drills, and public demonstration on fire emergency and response.
This is nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Comfort Ayim in our Enugu Network Center is standing by to get us the next set of reports. Hello, Comfort. You're on.
Hello, Chinenye. Good afternoon and welcome to Enugu Network Center. As the dry season sets in, the Federal Fire Service Enugu State Command is taking a proactive stance with an urgent call on Nigerians to build a culture of fire safety and develop the mindset of collective ownership. This was the key takeaways at the flag-off of the Fire Week campaign, focusing on education and community engagement. The report.
Video flickered in my mind, the electrical fire still searing. The keynote speaker on electrical fire's words echoed, who is to blame? Some blamed the government, the electricity company, the town planners, and the need to revisit building codes. But the message is clear. Everyone is to blame. The question about a shared responsibility in a world where danger often hides in plain sight.
People should not build under high tension. They should not rent other high tension wires. People should not use obsolete electrical appliances.
And this program is part of preparedness and proactive measures to ensure that all stakeholders put sense on this, to go down to our various communities, to engage people, to make sure that we are fire conscious.
Overcoming the not my portion mentality, a silent killer, is the core message they are trumpeting, and the controller says it is the most pressing challenge.
It will awaken our consciousness, embrace the message of the safety, fire mitigation through emergency preparedness become our watchword.
Government should find a way of having a station at the Ugo-Enyama axis of the 9th mile Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, because if there is an outstation, it will serve as a first responder in the case of any fire incident.
Building a culture of safety is a continuous journey that requires everyone's participation, and the talk serves as a powerful reminder that safety is not just set rules, but a shared responsibility. For emergency response, call 0810-555-8937. or 090-5244-2484.
A massive step towards resolving the perennial water scarcity in Enugu East Senatorial Zone has been taken as the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, in collaboration with the Enugu State government, officially flagged off a key component of the partnership for expanded water supply, sanitation and hygiene (PWASH) program in Isuzu local government area. Ifeanyi Daniel Supai's report is here, presented.
The flag-off ceremony in Isuzu is a testament to Enugu State and the federal government's commitment to achieving SDG 6 clean water and sanitation for all. This phase of the PWASH project, spearheaded by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, directly addresses the low water discharge and water table issues prevalent in this region. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation represented stated that the collaborative effort involves substantial counterpart funding to ensure success of the project.
If the state government has budgeted 500 billion for this implementation, after the implementation, the federal comes, we assess, we verify.
The Enugu State Governor represented emphasized the importance of community ownership and hygiene promotion as a vital part of the program.
We will have the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, who are also committed to ensuring there's an expanded water program to local communities.
This particular project site here will be done directly by the agency, by ROASA, because we trust our technical hands.
Our community, we have really suffered because of water. When the news of this came to us, the whole community went again over this.
Only source of drinking water is this one they call airben. And this airben is very, very hard water.
This flag-off marks the beginning of the construction phase, bringing hopes to millions that access to basic necessity will soon become a reality.
Those are the stories from here. Taking a break now to join Sokoto thereafter. To stay with us.
In heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality. Transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Food sufficiency and stimulus for sustainability with inflationary pressure on cost of production. NTA Tuesday Live comes up tonight on the 18th November 2025. Experts will deliberate on affordable food price in the country, plus strategies to interrogate farming input chemicals, fertilizers, storage, and addressing post-harvest losses. Tuesday Live, incisive and educative as ever. Join us.
Our major currency unit is the Naira, while the minor unit is the Kobo. They are both in notes and coins. The Naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the Naira. It is a criminal offense to spray the Naira at events. Stop stepping on the Naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the Naira. Handling the Naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the Naira. Love the Naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian.
This message was brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
you have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
Welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Despite security concerns in some areas, enhanced community policing and closer cooperation with sister security agencies are strengthening intelligence gathering and helping to maintain peace across Sokoto State. The State Commissioner of Police, Ahmed Musa, while providing an update on the general security situation, emphasizes that Sokoto's long-standing tradition of religious tolerance remains central to the state's stability. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
Despite security challenges in the eastern axis, Sokoto State remains generally calm, with residents continuing their legitimate activities unhindered. This stability is maintained through the deployment of tactical teams and sustain joint operations in collaboration with other security agencies across the state, particularly in areas identified as volatile. The State Police Command is enjoying strong support from the force headquarters, Sokoto State Government, as well as traditional, religious and youth leaders who have consistently provided positive feedbacks on security efforts.
Sokoto is more like a mini Nigeria where you find everybody living here and they are all living happily and peacefully. These are the stakeholders that I have been interacting with. Other people who are living here that are not originally from Sokoto, who are now almost like Sokoto people, have engaged with me several times, and they have also been supporting us in so many ways, especially in information gathering.
Let us call a spade a spade. Whoever is at fault, tell him that you are at fault. If my child is at fault, no matter how much I love him, I must tell him that you are at fault, but not trying to cover him. The evil that we are covering today will become a monster in the future. And this thing, when it is coming, it will not only affect you, it's going to affect the entire family and the whole nation.
Anybody who comes to Sokoto will see how people are living in peace, different ethnic groups, different religion, different tribes, as we are already know, Sokoto used to be the most peaceful state in the country. Even now, it's one of the most peaceful despite all the challenges we are facing.
With heightened security measures in many communities to safeguard lives and property, Sokoto State continues to be peaceful and remains a home for all Nigerians, regardless of their diverse backgrounds. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Comrade Abdulhamid Salihu Dembos, says the NTA remains committed to celebrating and preserving the cultural identity of Nigeria's diverse communities. He gave the assurance at the 2025 Annual Cultural and Traditional Festival hosted by NTA's Sokoto Network Center in collaboration with the Sokoto State Ministry for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu has more.
The 2025 Cultural and Traditional Festival drew cultural troops, traditional institutions, government officials, artists and residents from across the 23 local government areas in a colorful exhibition of heritage and the revered traditions of the Sokoto Caliphate. Music, dance, crafts and pageantry brightened the arena, portraying unity in diversity and renewed efforts to preserve the cultural identity of the state. Representing Governor Ahmed Aliyu, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ibrahim Dede Adare, reaffirmed government's commitment to safeguarding cultural values and promoting unity in a strategic tool in confronting national challenges.
We are trying to revive and to bring forward for the younger ones to understand and to inculcate what we have as a culture in the state.
Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Comrade Abdulhamid Salihu Dembos, represented by the Zonal Director, NTA Sokoto Network Center, Umar Bakari, says the annual Cultural and Traditional Festival underscores NTA's commitment to promoting the heritage and values of communities across the country.
This goes along when telling that there's need for peaceful coexistence. Sokoto now is a case study for other states to emulate.
The Sultan of Sokoto, represented by the Deng Ian Sokoto, Aminu Bala Sokoto, assured the Sultanate Council's commitment to sustaining the cultural identity of the people. Participants described the festival as a unifying platform that reconnects communities with their roots while promoting mutual understanding and cultural pride. Yabo local government emerged overall champions of the 2025 Cultural and Traditional Festival, while Kebe, Ilela and Bodinga also took home honors in various competitive categories. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Iladu, NTA.
And that's it from here. Back to Abuja studios for the continuation of the news.
Asmau, there in our Sokoto Network Center, we thank you so much. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on government agencies, the civil society, parents, and other stakeholders to work together towards creating a protective environment where children can feel safe to thrive. In her message marking 2025 World Day for the Prevention of and Healing from Child Sexual Exploitation, Abuse and Violence, with the theme, Strengthening the Protection of Children Against Sexual Exploitation and Sexual Abuse Through Evidence-Based Policy Making. The First Lady says the theme is a reminder that protecting children and ensuring that they grow up free from fear and harm goes beyond words and good intentions, but demands informed action guided by accurate data, research, and sound policies. Commissioners for Women Affairs nationwide are being groomed to cascade the domestication and implementation of women economic empowerment policy at subnational level. This came to the fore during the inauguration of WE Committee of Practice by the chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, to share ideas and track performances of initiatives. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It has been 20 years since the Beijing Plan of Action was announced for the empowerment of the girl child and women, adequate funding and parenting of minors.
As part of our ongoing commitment, the Nigerian Governors Forum has integrated the Nigeria for Women program into state-level plans and priorities. This initiative stands as a testament to the transformative power of strategic partnership between governments and development partners.
Now the push seemed to be tough at the center, and the Nigerian Governors Forum Gender Department is pulling the trigger for a widespread implementation and influence across states.
What we can do with the states is to make sure that the policy aligns with the reality of that state, so that, you know, whatever initiatives you're going to be putting forward would be initiatives and solutions that would best suit your state.
Women Affairs Commissioner nationwide are here on a capacity building of the practice of committee through peer review, innovative ideas and collaboration that will discourage social and economic exclusion.
By requesting that the Nigerian Governors Forum support us on a few study tours, particularly to places like China, Taiwan, Thailand, Brazil, Rwanda, for learning experiences that will be stepped down to the grassroots.
This is coming as WE policies gaining momentum and advancing the cause to bridge the gender gap and address vulnerability through partnerships and adaptation of evolving trends. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has assured Nigerians of a comprehensive review of the Electoral Act 2022 to reflect the wishes and aspirations of all. The Speaker gave the assurance while reacting to an observation about the electoral law raised on the floor of the House by Representative Ifeanyi Uzokwe under a matter of personal explanation.
The impression that people have outside is that INEC must be present in conventions and congresses of party. But it is not in our law.
We already agreed, both the Senate and the House will take a day, and it will be done concurrently, all the amendments. So unless if the amendment did not capture what you are saying, then you can come later under privilege to highlight.
Meanwhile, the House at Tuesday's plenary passed for second reading a constitution alteration bill seeking to reduce the age limit for election into the Senate and office of the governor.
Today, to be a senator or to be a governor in this country, you need to attain the minimum age of 35, giving a 10 years gap in between. So, Mr. Speaker, it further proves that if a member of this House at 25 years spends 2 terms in the House of Representatives, he will be 33 years, and he will still not be qualified to go to the Senate or to become a governor. So I think that this Honorable House should look into it, and we maintain the gap between the office of the governor and Senate, as it were, and that of the House at the 5 years that it has always been. So this bill is seeking to reduce the age from 35 to 30.
The Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC, Delta State Sector Command, has officially flagged off its 2025 Ember Months campaign with a town hall meeting. The event themed Take Responsibility for Your Safety, Stop Distracted Driving. Joy Obiazikwo reports that the meeting brought together key stakeholders, drivers' unions, National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, the Red Cross, and representatives from various sister agencies to deliberate on safety strategies during the festive period.
4 months that form the last quarter of the year are called Ember Months. They are usually characterized by increase in vehicular movements, economic viability, thereby causing gridlock and road crashes across the country. Federal Road Safety Corps Delta State Command organized a town hall meeting to sensitize drivers, Red Cross, road marshals, amongst other stakeholders on safety measures this festive period.
When we talk of agencies that extort passengers on the roads, I think road safety, people are reluctant to condemn road safety because they don't have that avalanche of evidence.
Before you embark on a journey, go to the computerized center, test your vehicle so that it is for your own safety and for the safety of other road users.
This type of meeting has been going on, but it also serves as a reminder, reminding people why they should be conscious and be very careful on the road is very necessary.
It's a good one. We appreciate it, and we've learned a lot from the program, and it has been helping us.
The road safety sprayer is to reduce the incidence of road accidents and promote a culture of safety among road users in Delta State. In Asaba, Helen Dunku, NTA News.
I will now join Helen Dunku in Asaba to speak more on the FRSC Town Hall meeting and to also tell us what FRSC is expected to see after this meeting. Hello, Helen. What more can you tell us?
Good evening, Chinenye. Asaba, which is the next neighbor to commercial city of Onitsha, the commercial hub of Nigeria, usually witnesses increase in road movement, vehicular movement, and it is also a huge task for authorities this period to contain activities on the road. Next beside me will be meeting the Road Safety, Federal Road Safety Sector Commander Joyce Nenaya Alexander, which will give us more insight to other modalities they have put in place to have a hitch-free U-tide on the road.
Yes, we've started with public enlightenment. We started on a town hall meeting calling all stakeholders together, and then we went forward on a roadshow, a motorcade. We've been visiting different people, different media houses, calling on sister agencies. As we are doing it in Asaba, it's been replicated in all our component commands within Delta State. Now, from the public enlightenment, we're entering into the operation itself, Operation Zero. We are starting, of course, we have people who are mobilized. We have up to 1,300 people who are there, both regular marshals and special marshals, and what we call first responders. They are on ground to do what needs to be done. We are also instituting mobile courts. At that period, we'll be instituting special patrols, intervention patrols, and we are going to make sure that people do what they are supposed to do. I visited the Commissioner for Transport to talk about it, what needs to be done. I visited the Commissioner for Police to talk about what needs to be done in terms of clearing some of the checkpoints, so that people can have free access. I'm also going to visit the Commissioner for Transport tomorrow to still talk about it. Within the Ogwashuku, Uheli, and Warri axis, we are going to make sure that there's a free flow.
Thank you, Madam Road Safety. This is all we have to ditch from this axis. We believe that this Yuletide is going to be hitch-free on our road. Over to you, Chine.
Many thanks, Helen, and we hope so. Abubakar in our Maiduguri Network Center will bring us the next set of reports on Nationwide. Hello, Abubakar. It's over to you.
Certainly, Chinenye, it's nice to see you. Let's begin with issues that have to do with security. Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, has called for a joint military offensive involving the Army, Navy, and Air Force to clear insurgent hideouts in the Lake Chad region. The governor made the call when he received the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Kelvin Aneke, at the Government House, Maiduguri. Here is Mohammed Kuni with the rest of the story.
The Chief of Air Staff was in Maiduguri on a familiarization and operational tour, engaging with frontline personnel to strengthen interagency collaboration. Governor Zulum identified the Lake Chad Islands, known as the Tumbus, as major safe havens for Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters, and stressed the need for a coordinated, full-scale operation to finally end the security challenges.
As the Governor of Borno State, I want to assure you that under my distinguished leadership, I will continue to provide the needed commitment and political will to partner with you with a view to ending this crisis.
The governor also listed other insurgents enclaves such as Sambisa Forest and the Mandara Hills, urging the military to deploy more technology, including additional unmanned aerial vehicles to support the operations, proposing strategic meeting of military command and control structures in Maiduguri to harmonize approaches. Chief of the Air Staff commended the governor's support to the military and his community-based reconstruction efforts.
From decisive line operations that mitigate potential vulnerabilities to the steady logistic support the state government has provided for our operations, we cannot thank you enough. This practical and timely assistance has strengthened our ability to operate effectively and to protect.
Air Marshal Anike assured that the Air Force has renewed its focus on operational readiness, closer integration with ground troops, and smarter application of air power in stabilizing the Northeast. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And talking education now, a team from the Federal Ministry of Education has visited Borno State to assess the Umar Ibn Ibrahim El-Kanemi College of Education, Science and Technology, Bama, as part of efforts to upgrade the institution into the proposed Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship. The delegation was received by the Borno State Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Lawan Abo Kilbi, who accompanied them throughout the inspection. Pauline Kujivana completes the story.
The team from the Federal Ministry of Education, led by the Director of University Education, Rukaya Ilyasu, was received by the Provost of Umar Ibn Ibrahim El Kanami College of Education, Science and Technology, USES Bama, Professor Khalid Tijani, who took them through key parts of the campus, including the perimeter fence, staff quarters, academic buildings, and other essential facilities. The delegation also held an interactive session with members of staff who expressed confidence in the planned transition from a state to a federal salary structure. Leader of the team, Rukaya Ilyasu, explained that the assessment aimed to review the institution's current status, verify its workforce, and identify staff who will transition to the proposed university while determining those who will remain under the state government.
What we saw is quite interesting because it's not a new institution, it's an upgrade. What is on ground is quite available, it's quite adequate for the transformation of the upgrade to a university.
Both the Commissioner Lawan Abawa Kilby and the Provost Professor Khalid Tijani described the development as timely and encouraging. The team later visited the Shehu of Bama to brief him on the federal government's plans for the town. During the trip, Commissioner Wakilby also stopped at one of the IDP camps in Bama, where he highlighted the state government's progress in reducing the number of out-of-school children caused by the insurgency from 2.2 million in 2019 to about 800 today. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
This is Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. We have more reports for you with Chinenye in Abuja, but that will be right after this break.
The world needs moms. With a splash of golden terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile, change no thanks into yes please, resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden terra oil, or pure love.
Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, the city is moving. New voices, heavy drip, all heart. From the streets to the stage, this is the next Afrobeat star.
Yo! What are we here for? Next Afrobeat star!
And the talents from all over showed up to own the room. But they're not alone.
Spiritual. Gospel.
To face the judges, Puffy T, SARS, Andrew Vibes, P Pride. Catch next Afrobeat star on.
Welcome to Skill Up Nigeria, Industrial Training Fund's television program celebrating innovation, craftsmanship, and the skilled hands shaping our nation's future. Join us and share in our over 50-year journey of empowering Nigeria's workforce and impacting the nation's human resources. Tune in and connect with experts and skilled workers sharing real stories that inspire. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. on the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. Skill Up Nigeria, powered by ITF.
Many thanks for staying on. President Bola Tinubu congratulates the lawmaker representing Akoko Southeast and Southwest Federal Constituency of Ondo State, Adeboyega Adeferati, on his 60th birthday. President Tinubu describes the lawmaker as a patriotic Nigerian who has made significant contributions to national development and democratic consolidation. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu highlights Adeferati's decades of service as a teacher, banker, and politician, which have combined to foster industrial harmony between government and labor unions. President Tinubu also acknowledges Adeferati's advocacy for stronger legislative interventions. And President Bola Tinubu has expressed deep grief over the passing of Chief Dan Abwese, a veteran journalist, prose stylist, author, and co-founder of Newswatch Weekly magazine. Abwese, who was the Awontun of Agila Town in Ado, local government area of Benue State, died on Monday at the age of 81 in Lagos. In a statement signed by Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, President Tinubu described Agbese's death as a profound loss to Nigeria's media industry and the country as a whole. The President noted that Agbese, alongside his colleagues at Newswatch, helped pioneer a new era of investigative and interpretative journalism in Nigeria, transforming media practice and setting standards for ethical and courageous reporting. President Tinubu said Agbese's legacy will be remembered for shaping public opinions, strengthening democratic discourse, and inspiring a generation of media practitioners. He joined his family, the media community, and the nation in mourning, praying that Agbese's legacy continues to guide the noble calling of journalism in Nigeria. And the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has expressed deep sadness over the passing of Mr. Dan Agbese, a foundational pillar of Nigeria's contemporary journalism and a tireless advocate for a free press. In a statement, the minister described Agbese as a titan of truth whose legacy formed the foundation of enlightened public discourse by co-founding the trailblazing Newswatch magazine, which became a defining institution in Nigeria. Minister Idris added that Agbese's passing comes at a time when Tinubu administration is deeply committed to fostering the very principles he fought for: an expanded democratic space, robust citizen engagement, and free speech. He sent his heartfelt condolences to his family, colleagues, and the entire media fraternity, and prayed for his soul to rest in eternal peace. It was a day of quiet reflection and profound emotion as the book, Dear Loving Mama, gathered literary enthusiasts, friends and family in Abuja. What emerged was a tribute to a mother whose life continues to inspire long after her passing. Juliana Nicholas reports that the room became a space for healing, memory and faith.
In a hall filled with anticipation, voices rise one after another, each person carrying a story or a moment that speaks to the force of a mother's love. What started as a book launch soon unfolded into a gathering of hearts where grief, gratitude, and hope found common ground. The author takes the stage, her words revealing both a journey of writing and of living.
I got my inspiration from what I experienced when my mother was sick. It wasn't a nice experience at all. It made me realize that it's not all about how long you have lived here on earth, but how you have been able to impact in the life of people.
The book reviewer delves into its pages, a work written with a blend of reflection.
The book is about the need for us to live in love, irrespective of our religion. And I also see that the book will be useful for our policymakers. Let's see the need to invest more in our health systems.
For the author's father, speaking of his late wife, his reflections on how the book has helped him make peace with his pain.
She was wonderful. In fact, how my wife went about with her children, Rachel, Ruth, and Raphael, as if she knew she was going to part so early. If by responsibility in the house, running the affairs of the house, I don't feel it. My pains is the vacuum that has been created, not seeing her.
And as the event draws to a close, a quiet message settles over the room, a reminder that kindness and love are the truest legacies we leave behind, for no one can predict when time will call us home. In Abuja, Juliana Nicholas, NTA News.
And that is Nationwide for today. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Moe.
Hello, son.
Dad?
Yes.
I'm going to the U.S. Yeah, I'm going to do 1 or 2. And I have faith.
They don't need people like you in America. They would just deport you before the plane even lands.
this is a good time for the family to start all over again, minus your mama.
If Mama no the family never complete.